Here comes the episode 2 of the wind turbine stories, the windmills that fed millions. There's a certain sound I can still hear in my head, even centuries later. It's the groan of old wooden sails turning against the wind, the crunch of millstones biting into grain, the rhythm of survival itself. You see, in medieval Europe, before factories and fossil fuels, there was the wind, and we used it to feed ourselves. The first time I laid eyes on a windmill, I was a boy in Flanders. It stood tall over the fields like a giant sentinel, arms outstretched to the sky. The whole village gathered beneath it with sacks of grain on their backs waiting their turn. Not many knew it, but these machines, these beautiful groaning giants, were a marvel of the age. We didn't invent windmills, of course. That honor belongs to ancient Persia, where they'd built vertical axis mills to pump water and grind grain hundreds of years before us. But when windmills arrived in Europe, sometime in the 12th century, we reshaped them to fit our world. The Crusaders might have brought the idea back, or maybe it came through Moorish Spain. Doesn't matter now. What matters is that they spread like wildfire across England, France, and the Low Countries, and they changed everything. The first ones were called postmills, strange top-heavy things balanced on a single vertical beam. The entire structure could be rotated by hand to face the wind. Ingenious, crude, beautiful. Later, tower mills appeared, much sturdier. Only the cap had to turn now, and oh, how those sails spun when the wind came down from the north. Inside, it smelled like dust and flour and sweat. Wooden gears clacked and moaned with every rotation. Great circular stones, called millstones, crushed the grain into fine powdery life. The miller stood watch, adjusting everything by ear and by instinct. If the stones ground too close, you got sparks. If they went too far, you had some useless flour. It was a delicate and dangerous art. More than one careless soul had vanished into the turning works, swallowed whole by the wind. But more than a machine, the windmill was a lifeline. Without it, we'd starve. Bread was everything, breakfast, lunch, and often dinner, and no bread without flour, no flour without the mill. That's why every village had one, or wished they did, the miller. Now there was a curious figure, half engineer, half priest, keeper of grain and whispers. People trusted him, feared him, resented him. Some said he stole a bit of every bag that passed through his stones. Others said he had a pact with the wind. There was a rhyme we used to say as kids, God bless the priest who says the mass, God bless the plowman with his ass, but curse the miller, sly and fast he takes 3 pecks for every pass. As the centuries rolled on, windmills became more than food machines. In the Netherlands, they became the very hands that shaped the land, pumping water from flooded fields, claiming earth back from the sea. Elsewhere, they turned saws, crushed olives, and helped produce paper. The wind did that same job, what hands and beasts once had too. I still remember the hush just before the sails caught wind, the way the village would pause listening. When the windmill turned, the people could eat. When it didn't, they waited. These weren't just buildings. They were monuments to ingenuity, to survival. The wind fed us, and we built shrines to it that still stand today. But change was coming. Steam was whispering from the cities. Electricity would soon follow, and wind? Well, wind would have to find a new purpose. In the next story, we travel to 19th century America, where windmills left the village behind and headed west. Join me then, as the wind begins to power more than just bread.